Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Before we get into today's video, please do me a favour. If this is your first time watching the channel today, make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 42k subscribers, so go and do that right now if you haven't already. And the question I've got for you today is in relation to Manchester United's Europa League semi-final tie tonight. I want to know your score predictions. Get in the comments section right now and let me know your score predictions. We're going to start off by talking... I've got a bit of a sore throat today. We're going to start off by talking about that. And we have got some positive news that apparently De Ligt and Amad Diallo have travelled with the first team squad and are available off the bench, apparently. So they're not going to start, but Amad Diallo is available. And depending on how the game goes, is likely to feature in some capacity. So that's really, really positive because at the moment, we're crying out for creativity. At the moment, we are suffering, I would say. When we're not able to score goals, we're not really creating much. I mean, maybe that's harsh. We are creating stuff, we're just not finishing a lot of the time. So, yeah, this is obviously the biggest game of Manchester United season, the biggest game in a long time, and everything rides on it. We have to beat we have to not lose tonight. That's the key thing here. We have to be able to go to Old Trafford and hope that we're not 2-3-0 down. Because if that happens, I mean, anything can happen. Obviously, we didn't expect to go through in the last round, did we? And we turned it around. But yeah, like we all know how much of an important game this is tonight. It's massive. Massive for Ruben Amorim. Massive for Manchester United. And realistically, as dramatic as this might sound, it's massive for the future of the club as well. Because if we don't get European football next season, do we really think we'll get European football the season after? Probably not, realistically, you know? Because I guess we could finish in the top 4 next season, but I just don't see it. Whereas if we get if we win the Europa League this year, that will mean our budget's bigger for next year. And it will just open up so many doors for us this summer in relation to buying and selling players. Whereas I think if we don't get Champions League football, we still will be able to make signings, but we're going to have less of a budget. I think I read that Manchester United will get around £80 million if they win the Europa League and qualify for the Champions League. Something like that, 80 to 100 million. Let me double check that. Prize money... I think that was just for qualifying for the Champions League. So the prize money for the Europa League is... How much? So the winner of the Europa League will get about 15 million. And then you also get about 80 million for qualifying for the Champions League. So it's about 100 million pounds. That's how important the next 3 games are for Manchester United. There's 100 million pounds on the line for this club. It's crazy. Such a big impact that it will have either way. If we lose... Yeah, I don't know. If we lose, I can't even contemplate what the feeling is going to be like in the fan base if we lose. I think everyone is just waiting and riding on this hope that we can win the Europa League and everything kind of gets a little bit better. But at the moment, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know whether we can do it or not. As always with Manchester United, I'm not confident at all, but I'm also not worried. I'm kind of just like sat right in the middle. We could easily get battered 4-0 or we could easily win 2 or 3-0. You know, it could go literally either way tonight. But in relation to score predictions, I think it's going to be a relatively tight and cagey game. I'm going to go for a draw. I think there'll be goals. I'm going to say 2-2. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go 2-2. But as I said, I'd love to know what you guys think. Like, what are your score predictions for this game tonight? Are you confident? Are you worried? What are we thinking? I'm going to go 2-2. I think. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Malp says that Spanish clubs are our Achilles heel. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Ahmad's definitely not going to start. For those of you who are saying Ahmad should start, he's 100% not going to start. He's apparently not ready to start, but he apparently will feature in some capacity, so off the bench, realistically. So yeah, we're not going to see Ahmad from minute 1, which makes sense. You know, you don't want to throw somebody in at the deep end after they've been out injured for how long's he been injured for? Like 2 months, 3 months? Like that just wouldn't be sensible. at all. So, yeah. Right, what else have we got? Okay, so you can let me know your thoughts on that one in the comment section. We are now going to talk a little bit about Jonathan Tah. So this is an interesting one. This is coming out from Sky Sports this morning that apparently Manchester United are in talks to sign Jonathan Tah. So he obviously plays for Bayern Leverkusen at the moment. Decent player. He's a player we were linked to last summer, 29 years of age. And I think his contract is up in the summer. Let me just double check that. Yeah, his contract's up in June. So literally next month, his contract expires at Bayern Leverkusen. And Sky Sports are reporting that Manchester United are now exploring a deal to sign Bayern Leverkusen defender Jonathan Tah as a free agent. I mean, if we can get him for nothing, I'd be happy with that. I think it would be decent. Apparently Bayern Munich are also interested, which kind of worries me. Interestingly enough as well, Erik ten Hag apparently is going to become the new Bayern Leverkusen manager, which is pretty cool for him. Let's have a look. Yeah, Platy Gold is reporting that apparently Erik ten Hag is in the running to become the new Leverkusen manager. But they're waiting for Xavi Alonso to make a decision. Isn't Xavi Alonso going to Real Madrid? I don't really know why they're waiting for him to make a decision. Like, surely he's just going to go to Real Madrid. Don't really get that bit. If anybody knows anything more about that situation, let me know. But yeah, I don't really understand. But anyway, we're here to talk about Man United. Jonathan Tah for free, I would 100% take him. I think we need experience. Lindelof's leaving this summer. A couple of other people are leaving this summer. So yeah, I think if we can get Jonathan Tah for nothing, I don't really see how you can argue against it, personally. But maybe you disagree. Let me know in the chat, guys. Would you go for Jonathan Tah as a free agent? How many times has he played this season? Let's have a look. Where is it? Jonathan Tah. I don't know what his injury record's like as well. That might be another thing to have a look at. Let's have a look. Injury history. I mean, his injury record's pretty phenomenal. In the last 5 seasons, he's only missed 4 games through injury in 5 years. I mean, that's incredible for a 29-year-old. And most of them were, he was ill, he had an infection, he was ill. He hasn't had like an actual proper injury since... I can't even see. Since 2016 was the last time he had a proper injury. So like 8 years ago. I think he'd be a great signing, Jonathan Tah. I do, like, especially if Lindelof's leaving. How many times has he played this season? He's played 30 times this season and 10 times in the Champions League. So he's played every single minute for Bayern Leverkusen this season. I mean, Bayern Leverkusen are a much better side than us at the moment. I don't think we can turn our noses up at this. Yes, he doesn't fit the age profile, but they wouldn't be paying a transfer fee for him. So yeah, I would firmly get behind this deal that Jonathan Tah to Manchester United would be a phenomenal signing. I'd love to know what you guys think. Yeah, would you go for Jonathan Tah or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I think it's a yes from me, but again, interested to see what you guys have to say. Moving on from there. Let's talk a little bit about this player. So I don't know if people saw this, but Manchester United actually signed somebody yesterday, which might have gone maybe under the radar. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. So Manchester United have signed. Let's just start off by saying he is only a youth player, but it's good that we are actively making deals happen, even if it is for youth players. What's the guy's name? My brain is not fully switched on this morning. Seem to have lost it. We'll talk about Gyokeres in a minute as well, guys. There you go. So his name is Enzo Cana Biek. Probably said his name wrong. I do apologise. He is 18 years of age. Currently plays in the French league. He's a centre forward. He's going to go straight into the youth academy. I mean, there's not really any stats about him, to be honest. He's not been capped by France. He's only played at under 19 level. So yeah, he's one to go into the youth setup. He's not going to go in the first team. So I don't know. It's not really that much to get excited about, but still, it's a new show. So yeah, that's that. And then the final story is on Gyokeres, because our manager Ruben Amorim has been talking about Gyokeres, and he was asked about whether he's going to sign Gyokeres, and he said, well, I only want players who want to play for Manchester United. I don't want players who specifically just want to play in the Champions League. Obviously, this was in relation to a story that said that Gyokeres would only join Manchester United if they got Champions League football. And Ruben Amorim's response was simply, well, if he doesn't want to play for Manchester United, then we don't want him, effectively. Which I think is fair, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can really hold that against somebody. You know, like Manchester United isn't the most attractive proposal at the moment. We're what, 40? Are we 14th in the Premier League? Maybe even lower? We're staring down the barrel of our worst season ever. And you expect a player who's in his prime, who could probably move to any top club in Europe, to want to come to Manchester United over, say, going to like a Liverpool or an Arsenal or somebody else in the Champions League. I don't know. I get what Ruben Amorim's saying. But realistically, the correct answer to that question, if he was being honest, would be, well, we're not a very attractive proposal at the moment. And I totally understand why a player like Gyokeres wouldn't want to come to Manchester United, because, you know, we're sat 14th in the Premier League and we're probably not going to get European football, you know? And that's not being negative, it's just being realistic. So, yeah, I don't know. I think as much as I would like Gyokeres, I think it all does ride on us getting Champions League football, you know? The guy's in his prime. The guy is going to want to go to a Champions League club. And if we can offer him that, then I reckon we'll probably get a deal done. If we can't, then we won't. It's as simple as that for me. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Is Gyokeres still the player that you are desperate for? Oh, sorry. Is Gyokeres still the player you're desperate for? Or are you looking at someone else now? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I have always said that my priority signing would be Gyokeres or Osimhen, one of those two. I'd be happy with either. I probably would side with Gyokeres just because of his wages. I think we looked yesterday. Gyokeres is on about 40 grand a week currently at Sporting, whereas Victor Osimhen, I think, is on around 350 grand a week. So one of them's on about 4 times the amount as the other one, which, you know, for a team like Man United who are currently struggling financially, paying another player 350 grand a week, like we pay Casemiro, is not the most clever bit of business, in my opinion. And I think, you know, if we're able to get someone of the quality of Gyokeres and not have to pay 350 grand a week, then I think that would make more sense. Because this summer, as I've always said, I think we need maybe 6 to 8 first team players. And that's not even being dramatic. I think 6 to 8 first team players need to go into this team this year. And even then, that might only get us in the top 8. You know, that's not like we're going to win the league if we do that. I think we're literally staring down the barrel of our biggest squad overhaul in recent years. And we say that every single summer, don't we? That we need to sell like 10 players and bring in 10 players. And like, yeah, so I just think that as much as I like Osimhen and as much of a quality player I think he is, I'm not sure we can warrant paying somebody 350 grand a week when we're probably not even going to be in the Champions League, you know? It doesn't really add up. I personally think Osimhen's going to end up in the Saudi League. That's my take on it. You know, that's just my opinion. I might be completely wrong. But yeah, I can see Osimhen playing in the Saudi League next season. He'll get the money he wants. It's not going to affect his position in the national team. I don't think many clubs are going to want to pay him the 350 grand a week before tax. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about that, though. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Most people are saying Gyokeres is the best option. I think you could probably give Gyokeres like 100 grand a week and he'd be happy. If he's on 40 grand a week now, 80 grand a week would be, sorry, 100 grand a week would be 2.5 times his current salary. So, yeah, I think that would probably be realistic. 100 grand a week. Give him that. Give him like a, you know, take it or leave it type situation. 100 grand a week. Hopefully we're in the Champions League. So, yes. Right. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I will most likely be live after the game tonight, unless we get absolutely battered, and then I probably won't. But, yeah, have a good day, everybody. And, yeah, look forward to the game later. Excited. Speak to you all later, guys. Make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe.